Day 133. Hello from the UK, from my holidays. And Today I ate minced beef, which is ground beef, from the store because I had some left and I didn't want to use the butcher's one and see the difference. It tasted completely different than a butcher one's. I can't tell what it is and what exactly tasted different, but it didn't taste that good, I have to say. So the taste was really different. Then I had the rump steak yesterday from the butcher's, which didn't taste like anything, not even like meat, like really like nothing. And the fat was too hard to eat, so you have to cut it off, you just can't eat it. And Today I had it from the grocery store, from like the big, I think it's called Tosco or something. And it's like organic green. so um, the difference was it had a taste. It tasted like the same meat like at my home. So it had a meat taste, I would say, which is a little bit more on a pleasant side. The fat tasted like caramel. That's what I often realized also in my country, because when the fat is really perfect and smooth and soft, you can eat it really like it tastes like caramel crunches. I don't know why. Um, that's also, by the way, something that Dr. Anthony Chaffee's girlfriend Elle often says, that when he makes her a ribeye steak, for her it tastes like chocolate cake. I do get that because I think it's the fat, and sometimes it tastes like caramel and a little bit just like sweet thing. So maybe that's the case. Um, but it was extremely chewy, and I just half of it I couldn't eat because it just you just can't bite it. So that was not really pleasant. So I wasn't really happy with that. And in the morning I had a coffee with butter. Somebody asked me what butter it is. Sorry, I didn't have time to respond yet, but I tried three different brands until now since I'm here. So all of them have the same reactions. Um, and I felt my stomach was you know, just feeling a little bit strange, I would say, and my nose and everything, my neck and my throat is a little bit just like an allergy. It felt so, but without the butter, I don't know, without my coffee, I don't feel happy. So it's fine. I'm gonna handle it. Um, but then I was craving extremely fruits and yogurt and these kind of things. So I took a walk to the grocery store. It's a half an hour away from here, half an hour one side, half an hour back. So I had a little bit of an exercise up and down the hill. And I bought, and then something really strange happened. So I bought one apple. I took a bite, I spit it out. It tasted like chemicals. It was awful. It was awful. And I'm a person that was obsessed with apples. I eat apples everywhere. And they never tasted like that. I don't know what is wrong with the food. I also talked about the milk yesterday. Something is really, really wrong. Don't know what they're doing here. The apples should not taste like that. Um, then I just threw the apple away, and I had some raspberries. They tasted like gummy, like gummy. It wasn't a normal structure from raspberries. I grew them also myself, different kind of course it's depending on what kind of I don't know how it's called in English, but there are different kind of raspberries, and they're all different kind of structure. And this one very big, but it looked perfect big, and but it really tasted like gum. I can't explain it. The texture, it was just really, really wrong. So that was a no, trash no. Um, so I ended up with my personal guilty pleasure, unfortunately, which is protein bars and protein pudding. The protein pudding, awful, awful, chemical as hell. The protein puddings that I have in my country, which is one particular brand, doesn't taste like this. Which I have occasionally. I don't have that every day, but it's my personal guilty pleasure that I'm fighting to change it, and also the protein bars. But the protein bar is fine. But fine for me. I don't feel bad after it. I don't have any pain or anything worse happening. But one interesting thing, Anthony here from the UK, also carnivore, he gave me a very good tip to make my own protein bars. So better have a guilty pleasure, which is a little bit more in the okay side. And he recommended to make it the ground beef and the ghee or tallow or whatever, and then to freeze it, and then to put it into yogurt, cover it in yogurt, freeze it again, and then to sprinkle just cacao powder, which is like 100% cacao powder, and love it, onto it, and try to eat that. That I will really taste try. I think I just today thought about it. Maybe if the carnivore bars, which a lot of influencers are using, that will maybe stop me from my protein um, chocolate bars things. That will stop me maybe because it's just the texture and the quick energy kind of thing. I don't know what it is, but just the meat is not enough for me. I have to say, I realized that at some point, because my energy levels were dropping extremely. I just didn't feel good, and my body was really craving fruits and really craving yogurt. Um, but yeah, that was it. I bought also the yogurt, so I wanted to make just a fruit yogurt out of it, but the fruits were just for the trash, so that one failed. And it was kind of interesting, I have to say, because especially where you are, the things taste just completely different. So my personal theory, from the logical perspective, is that fruits and vegetables are not something bad for people, but we changed it. The people, humans, did something very, very bad to these fruits and vegetables, and that's why it's making us sick. That's why it's so awful, because if you're carnivore and you put away all the taste, like from spices, which I only have salt, and I only have rosemary in my ground beef. That's it. That's the two spices I have. I don't have any other spices. So my taste is very, very sensitive, especially to, it's kind of like sugar or spices or whatever. So I really can taste when something's wrong with something that's not natural. And that's what I think being on carnivore also helps a little bit to recognize what's wrong with the food, because yeah, it's just you can taste the poison. I just can't explain it differently. You really can taste it. This apple that was so bad, I was so shocked. It really tasted like something chemical is putting in, like something toxic is in the apple. I can't explain it. It was really bad. So yeah, and the same thing with the gummy raspberries. So that's that's the problem with the whole fight from vegans and American diet thing. It's, just forget about that. But from the, don't eat meat, eat more vegetables, eat your veggies. Um, Hell no. When they're like that, no. And how many people do really buy it from farmers and they know what's happening with their fruits and their veggies? Because I know from experience and talking to some people and knowing from some people how they're doing it, unfortunately, is that the farmers are put also into pressure, because at some point of the weather changes, which is also made by man, people, I mean, people, not man, that the weather is changing, and the whole growing from the farmers thing is really problematic right now. So they do have to use things right now that is also man-made to make it grow, because the man-made stuff made it, the weather and everything, go in a completely wrong direction, and the nature is now fighting us. Of course it's fighting us right now, because we are destroying everything. I realized that really today, just looking in the nature and just realizing what we are actually doing. And that every creature and every person and every animal and everything changes according to the environment. That's just a fact. So of course the nature will also change to protect itself from our destroying what we are doing. So in the end, when also the organic farmers try to grow their own stuff, it's problematic, because the whole environment is already poisoned. So it's sometimes really hard for them to grow the good stuff. And in Austria, we are a little bit more protective of these kind of things. So maybe that's why also our fruit parts are, from the farmers, are a little bit more on the safer side than in some countries, maybe, especially like in America. um, I don't know, it's just something that I observed also traveling a lot. It's, you can see it in the nature, where the nature is really pure and where the nature is really already kind of poisoned in the surrounding. So also nearby farmers. It's just something that I realized. It's a little bit sad, but the good part is today, I just had a peaceful moment in the most purest nature ever. It's so beautiful. And the water was very near me in the morning, and it was so far away in the evening. Um, and you can see what's under the water, the whole stones. And it was just so beautiful to see how nature changes according also to the moon and these kind of things. It's just very beautiful to see. And nobody was there now for 3 hours. I was just lying there and reading and just, enjoying the sound. And it was so peaceful and so quiet. And I do believe that everything in life has a purpose. And for me, being here and just having this moment, it's so peaceful. It gives me so much energy. It just lets me enjoy my whole journey. And I was just a random older lady, when I went to the grocery store, started talking to me. And she was like, yeah, the weather was awful, like forever now. And it's the first time, the last couple of days, that the sun is coming out. And I said, yeah, it's because I'm here. I brought the sun from Austria. And she and her husband were so cute about it, oh yeah, thank you so much, and please let it here when you go. And yeah, it's just these little kind of moments that makes you realize that something, that life isn't just everything is bad, and just looking into this whole carnivore fights, everything is so bad. And so these moments are so important to, especially as a carnivore, realize and to stop, fighting everything. And yesterday when we went to Green Day, which was really, you know yeah, Green Day wasn't good, I have to say. They were just too perfect. There were no little ups and downs. It was just one song after another. They're really perfect. They were just amazing and perfect. But the sound and everything was a little bit off, and it was just bam, 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 perfection. And I like a little bit more of an imperfect, a little bit of show. And the Blues Brothers did this show, so that they were so cool. I loved it. I loved their energy and how they're engaged with the crowd, and they were just present, and it was so cool. It reminded me of my childhood with my dad, but because he was a musician and he was a big fan of the Blues Brothers and this kind of music, and they covered some of their songs. So I grew up with these kind of people and crowds and the music, so that was so cool for me to see and have. And just to enjoy this moment is so beautiful. And that's also what I realized, and the perfection is sometimes very boring. And the imperfect things are just the most exciting ones. So also with people, how they look or how they act, or their journeys, or music or movies and everything, just the spice comes with the ups and downs in life. I think also when you write music, it comes with ups and downs. So that was just a little bit of an excursus into that. And in front of us there was an autistic girl, and she was having her parents surrounding her, and she was sitting next to us, and she was just always looking back. And she had so much joy looking at the people surrounding her. And yeah, she showed us then her phone, and she was so cute about it, and she was smiling all the time. And always when she touched her dad just went to her and kissed her on her forehead. And she was maybe, I don't know, maybe she was 20, 22. I can't really tell, but that was my suggestion, what I think she was. And he always kissed her at the forehead, and it was always the same movement, to assure her, they love her, that it's okay, it's fine, is she feeling good. And that was such a beautiful moment, to see that they had surely a pretty hard time with an autistic kid, and also how she behaved during the concert, but how peaceful they have been and how loving they have been. And these kind of moments we sometimes just ignore, I think, and just, we're not really looking around a little bit on what's happening in our surroundings, what's beautiful. And being on holidays most of the time, just taking away all this stress, and especially the phone and the social media, because I didn't look at the social media or anything. I was just reading my book, and just also having my books, not to have something that will educate you all the time, or show you some other perspectives and stuff to think. I like to read kind of magical books and fairy tales and these kind of things, just to escape in a little bit of a world which doesn't exist, and just to fantasize about it. So what would I do if I have some kind of superpower, or what would I do if I can change what I am, and I can be an animal or something like that. So I don't know, that's a little bit making life also more fun, and what I can really recommend you to do as well when you feel a bit overwhelmed or anxieties. It helps just to turn off social media and to find something that gives you a little bit of beautiful moments, see around yourself what you have, and just to enjoy the little moments, and also to find something that brings you joy, that doesn't really force you to think too much, but that is not TV or fast consume stuff, more like books, which is the topic that might interest you more, and just brings you a little bit more joy, maybe, and not something bad or bad energy. So yeah, I'm just relaxed. I can't tell anything else. I'm so freaking relaxed, and I had so much sun, so the sun exposure is really good. So I'm easily getting brown, so the redness is still always there in the morning, which is interesting. Always in the morning when I got my sunlight, then I'm turning really, really red. So that's very interesting. I don't have that after 3, 4 when I go to the sun, and I'm getting brown very easily, but that's just how I am. So if I get red, I get a few hours later, I'm always brown. So that's nothing that change it on a carnivore. So with this kind of thing. And my stomach is not flat. Like Bella from Steak and Butter Gal always says that she eats all the butter and the meat and the eggs and these kind of things. But as soon as I ate the butter, my stomach is just looks horrible, like I'm fat pig. And the same thing happened when I eat the meat, and especially the ground beef. So not everybody is the same. So also don't feel bad if it's not working for you that way, that it works for others. That's also so important to know, and just realize that that their journeys took them also a little bit longer. And yeah, I'm still experimenting with my protein bar things, but I don't have the feeling that I need kind of stuff like pizza or chips or fries. Oh, also very interesting. There was a family with almost 4 little children. They were like 2 to 4 maybe. They gave them ice cream, and they were like, maybe there was two, 3 max. They were eating this big Magnum ice cream, like each of them eat the whole Magnum ice cream. Then they gave them fries. Then they gave them chips. Then the kid, and that all happened not even in 20 minutes. I was sitting there. And then the kid was starting to like this. And she gave him cookies, chocolate cookies. And I was sitting there and I was thinking, whoa. And the family was not, they were trained. Even especially the guys were they looked amazing. The moms also, they looked like they do CrossFit. So they were not like a family of, I don't know, unhealthy people. And I was really surprised about that, because I used to be a mom like that, and that's something that I realized. We are training our kids very young to, if to shut them up with food, or oh, you're bored, or then eat something. And they're constantly eating, but they're eating like really shitty stuff. And yeah, that's something also I realized at home with my friends, who are also very healthy, so they're not not on the unhealthy side. And that's something that's really a little bit disturbing, because I grew up like that, and I also raised my child like that, because I did the same thing. So I'm not judging it, because I did the same thing. It's just about how we are acting, especially when we are bored, and when yeah, you just want some peace and quiet, and maybe the kids are, you know, a little bit too loud or whatever, or bored, especially when they're very small. So that's really, really interesting. And yeah, just an observation. So if you have kids, let me know how you handled it before carnivore, and if you still handle it like this, that would be very interesting. The last time when we went to swimming, I prepared a lot of carnivore snacks, just cheese and, you know, some sausages and some bacon and these kind of things, just make small pieces. And we had that, and I had ground beef with me, and we ate the ground beef. It was so tasty, it was so good. And everybody else was eating chips and fries and these kind of things. So yeah, that felt good just to have something to eat in the end. So I stopped talking now. Hope I didn't bore you, and happy to hear from you, and see you tomorrow as always.